outside the waistband holsters. This is another one of mine. Fits my same gun with the light. Things you want to look for in an outside the waistband holster. You want to look for some of the same things you look for in the inside the waistband holsters. Trigger coverage. You want to make sure 100% of the trigger is covered. There's no excuse for having trigger exposed when you can start seeing gaps in the trigger back here and the gun doesn't go in deep enough into your holster to cover those. Just avoid it at all costs. Not only does it look ugly, it shouldn't be there. You're making a holster to cover the trigger. Why isn't it covering it? So you're also looking for trims when you grip the gun. When you come into the gun, you should be able to grab the entire grip. Nothing is impeding when I come into that. I come into it, I should be able to flip it over. Again, there's nothing impeding my thumb here. There's nothing getting trapped between my thumb and the grip. There's nothing hitting on the mag release as far as like the backer goes here. Make sure those are things you want to look for. You want to make sure that you don't have to draw the gun and then change my grip on the gun somehow because my thumb had to be way down here when I grabbed it, or whatever the case may be. Reholstering the same way. There it is. Draw the gun. Do whatever you're doing. Take your shots. Reholster. I'm done. There's no fumbling. There's no screwing around. It just works. It happens. That's the way it should be. There should be nothing special you have to do. You want to look for, again, some of the same things as with the inside the waistband ones. You want to look for your trims. There's nothing special about our trims. You will see some of them that come up around and clear this area here. Other than wanting to show off the chamber area of the gun, I don't know why they do that. It makes the top portion of the gun squishy when you do that. Top portion of the gun, I'm sorry, top portion of the holster. And when you do that and this becomes floppy with the gun out of the holster, you can't operate the slide off of the lip of the holster then. So I'm not sure why they do that, other than, like I say, trying to make it look cool. They are a holster. They work 100% of the time. There's nothing to catch moisture. There's nothing to hold moisture. There's nothing to hold crud. It falls straight through. Again, like most holsters, they are going to get dirt inside of them. They're going to get grass when you weed whack. They're going to get grass when you mow. They're trimming bushes. There's going to be all kinds of crud in them. But pop some screws out, take it off, clean them up, put them back together. You got a brand new holster, man. It's clean as the day it was born. Our belt loops are connected with leather. That way we don't have to do the heating and bending. This holster will fit me. I'm a 36-inch waist, and it will fit a 24-inch waist because it just lets the belt loops move. This holster fits pretty much everybody without any major adjustments. Fat people, real skinny people, you get the idea. Ride height on a outside the waistband holster is a touchy thing. Some people like theirs to ride real high, some people like them to ride low. Like I said in some of the other things, I'm 5'8" and 200 pounds. 5'7" actually, but whatever. I don't have a real long torso. With a full-size gun, I can't get away with a real high riding holster. High riding is nice if you want to use it as a concealment holster. The higher they ride, the easier they are to hide under a cover shirt. I live in Ohio, so open carry is legal here. That's irrelevant. But you can see in relationship to the belt line, this is the top of the belt here. You can see where the the trigger and the grip are going to be in relationship to the belt line just by doing this. So you can tell it's not a low riding holster, yet it's not a real high riding holster. I came up with the height of the way I originally designed them so I could draw my gun without getting it jammed in my armpit. It happens to work real well for majority of the people. It has a little bit of forward cant in it. It's not 100% straight drop holster. Again, I do that because it just makes getting the gun out and reholstering cleaner and simpler. Things don't bind up. It works for us. It also lets you push the gun back from 3 o'clock to 3:30 and still be able to get the gun out easily and reholster easily. So it's just one of the other things you want to think about is your ride height. Just food for thought, man. Think about your trim lines. Think about whether or not you're going to be able to operate the slide off that top lip. Think about your ride heights. Make sure you can disassemble it and clean it. Make sure you've got trigger coverage. Make sure you cover the entire barrel. Outside the waistband, that is just absolutely ridiculously important in my opinion. Well, mine's got some scuffs on it. I don't know from when. You can see them right here. I don't know if the camera's going to pick those up. But those are from concrete when the shop, on the shop floor. I was sitting down working on some vacuum lines, but that would have been my gun banging into the floor. Fortunately, it was the Kydex, so my gun's dinged up enough. I mean, poor thing. But that's just something else you want to think about. Trim lines, disassembly, ride height, barrel and front sight coverage, and your whether or not, just make sure you can grab the gun, draw the gun, and not have to adjust your hand. Keep it simple. It's always nice that things work and they work all the time. If you're looking for a fancy holster, this isn't it, man. Once again, guys, have a good night.